January 26th, 2024, Friday. Part 2 of what the heck is taking so long, or why does it take so long to sew something, or maybe OCD sewing. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a title for this thing, but part 2 of Bimini layout and the detail work that takes the long time. So what we got going on here is our Bimini top. This is the top. There's the top stitch. This is our pocket, which is going to hold it on our frame on the inside. It's going to get sewn over with a zipper in there attached on the bottom. It's going to fold over. And stapled in between these, we have our front lip edge, which is our 3-inch piece sewn back over that I went through in the previous video. And then after going through and rolling this up and getting these all nice and tight around the curved part there, so they go together, we lay out and we pull our web out. We've got to have your web edge in there. I use webbing. Other people just use little scrap pieces. And then we have to mark where the very end of the Bimini is, which is that chalk line. Now you're looking at it going, oh, well, that's too long. Well, no, it's because the stitch line is in here. Whoops, let me get a little focus there. There, the stitch line is going to be in there, and the top stitch on your top piece is going to be in here. So what you do is you lay that on there and you make your chalk line right to the edge of that, because you want your lip to come right to the edge of this, and you want your pocket to be in just a little bit from that. So to have this corner come out with your web perfect, straight in line with your edge, matched up with your pocket or your lip on the outside right to the corner there where it needs to be, and this just slightly inside of that and angled back so that it catches in the web. You want your end of your pocket anchored into your web with your zipper anchored into your web. You don't just want it sewn into the face of your canvas. That's a no-no. So this is what you got to do to lay all this out to get your corner done. So check that out. I made a new camera mount here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, here's our pocket that's going to go on our frame. Hold it on there. So we got to, now we don't want to go too far here because we got to undo this. We got to staple this back out. So what we got to do, come in, we mark our edge here where we want that to end. We come up with our giant scissors. We come in, we cut that back about no more than 3/4 of an inch. You don't want to fold too much back into this. Now, to not get too complicated with the back stitching and everything on here, we're just going to snip this apart, which is going to be snipping your top stitch out of there. Got that rubber band on my hand. I thought I was going to have to use it to hold my camera on there. Can you even see any? Yeah, it's right in the middle. That's good. Okay, so you got to come back farther than our line is. Pull that back a little bit. Cut some of this thread out of there, so it'll be hanging out later. Now we want to trim some of this off. Trim some of this off because that's going to make a big square corner in there if we don't. You want to fold that back right to that chalk line, top and bottom, if you can. We need to take a little bit off it over here too. So we're going to fold that in, fold that in, and we're going to end up, here, get a little light on it so you can see right there. Get that as neat looking as we can. And again, this stupid little detail work like this is what makes the stupid little details. There you go. Okay, so now we staple that. We can pull this back out and get that. We got to pull enough of this back out over here so that we can get back over into the machine, which is 10 inches off the table over in this direction. So we got to get this so we can sew the end of that shut. Same thing on the other end. I got to go all the way back down to this piece, which I pulled this back about 5 feet so I could work on this end. Now I got to pull it back 5 feet so I can do the same thing on that end that I just did here. Sew that end up and then pull it all back around again and sew that, or well, I don't know. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. Let's fire up the machine, get it past twist everything here. Go all the way over to here. And again, you see how much maneuvering has to go on. Put this stuff in the way on the back side, but then we can get over here and get to our piece here. I'm not sure if this is framed up very good. Oh yeah, it is. I'm getting lucky today. All right, so, and again, you got to pull this whole pile of 40 pounds of canvas over there. Kind of come in here, make sure your folds are nice. You can probably pull that staple back out. You pull a lot of staples out, you're either going to have no fingernails at all, or you're going to have really strong fingernails. I think it's made my fingernails stronger over the years. After you break them off so many times, they start getting a little tougher. There you go. Okay, so you got to get this tucked and folded up there with nothing hanging out. Want to come in? Ooh, pulled another one out there. So yeah, got to go back and staple all that back on. But we come in here, and you can put a nice little, just 2 or 3 little lock stitches. Now you're going to come forward up into your corner. Maybe make a little turn on there. Hope we don't miss any stitches. Reset that. So you see, having your machine on wheels is really handy, so you can bring it down here, but you still got to pull a thing 4 feet off the table to get to the machine. Now I could shorten my bed up a little bit, but then my wheels are going to be riding so far over there, I have to have everything shoved back under the table. So, I mean, alright, so that's that in. Now, alright, I got to unclamp this from the table. Get this weight off of here. Oh, reset the camera so you can see what I'm doing over there. Alright, clear off some of the stuff off of here. Get that unclamped. Push this back down there. Shut that off for a second. Now we gotta roll out the barrel. So, you know, this is a lot of work out here. Just moving all this stuff around. And you think, oh, it's just a piece of canvas. You just back in there, get our stapler, our scissors, our chalk, and basically I'm going to do the same thing down there that I did over here. Hang on, let me see. Bring out in here. No, I'm not going to bore you with it again. Okay, here we are. Camera reset. That's a lot of work too. Got to go through all this, and then I got to set up the camera to get a shot. So yeah, please like and subscribe if you appreciate this content. Just putting it out there, trying to share some secrets. All right, so what you do, again, we got all this lined up, laid out. Can you see all this? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think you can. So we got this laid up. We got this kind of curved around because that's going to help us hold everything flat and not twist up with that lip in there. So we don't need the pocket in there. Okay, so we're going to put this right over here is our stitch line, somewhere in there, like that. So the end of this is going to be, woo, that's kind of tight on it. I don't got much there to play with, but that's okay. Make sure that's right. Trim this off. And you don't want to do this too fast. You get in a hurry here and you start to whip, cut something off and like, oh no, I don't have my fold there, and it's like, oh, it's a ½ inch short. I've done that. So you got to watch what you're doing on this every second, and staple and restaple and pull the staples out and do it again, because this is the stupid little detail work that if you do it, it comes out really nice. If you don't, it's okay. Or if you screw it up and you got to go back and fix it because you don't do it this way, it's a lot of work to redo stuff. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to come in, we're going to take off a corner about that big, pretty big chunk actually, not all the way down to our line there, but close to it, because we want to get a good tuck fold in there. And we want them to both kind of be together in there like that. That's pretty nice. If it's got a little bit of a diagonal on there, that's not so bad. Just so they're both even and kind of like the other side, symmetrical and even. Okay, so you see my fold. Wait, where am I at here? All right, so my fold is coming out right on that chalk line, so that's going to be just about right. Okay, it's even there. Oh man, we got really lucky. Throw a staple in there real quick. Check our corners. They're a little sloppy. Tuck that in there. Get that one rolled back in there. That one's going to be a problem. Okay. We'll get it. We'll just sew that extra tight. Okay, we got to tear all this out. Move all this over into the machine. I don't want to go too far and take out my curved part. Alright, so I got all that lip repositioned. I got this ready to sew. Got the lip ready to sew the end like I did down the other side. I'm going to come over here, move all this junk out of the way, put the chalk in your pocket so you don't lose that or knock it on the floor and break it. Get your machine, pull the machine back up over here, and then we got to get all this without knocking the camera off the table. Oops. And then make sure our corners are nice. It's kind of a little bit of a knot in the corner of this one, but the nature of the beast, we got to make some concessions somewhere, right? Okay, pull all that over here. Alright, just a couple, 2 or 3 lock stitches in there. Again, you don't want to go too crazy and bar tack with a straight stitch machine. Bar tack is more for a zigzag machine. So when you're sewing back and forth on a piece of canvas, especially if you're like trying to sew your pocket, I don't know if you can see me. I don't know if you're trying to sew a pocket for your bow in, not into your edge. Like I told you before, you got to sew the end of this into the web. If you're just sewing it into canvas up here, just on the top, in the middle somewhere, and you're I'm gonna make this so it never comes out. You put like 1,000 holes in there doing that. Yeah, you got a big gob of thread in there too. But what that does is it weakens your canvas, and that's going to fail really easily. So don't over lock stitch stuff. It's just ridiculous. You only need like 3 or 4 back and forth, and that's plenty. Even if you're doing like a sling or a web piece where it's anchored to like a Bimini strap, and again, just 3 or 4 little lock stitches on the end of that is all you need. Now we can take all this, lay that back out, staple all this back together, and then we got to do our ends of our pocket there, which are going to be a little. Now, I got to flatten this all back, and I got to push everything back over here and flatten it all back out on the table again. Staple all this back up. And all this aerobic work, you can get a good workout and a good sweat going. So if you don't have air conditioning, you're going to be suffering. When I'm out here working, the garage heats up more. Well, I got lights on and everything else too. It's not just all the jumping around you got to do. All right, lay out that all flat. Get this in there. That's going to be, wait, something's not ordered. Uh-oh. Well, we're just going to have to stretch that a little or something. I look a little short there for some reason. Damn it, what happened? I just laid this all out. What happened here? Hang on. Oh, that's a little bit. Okay. I don't have that web set in there. That's right. That's about right there. Okay. That heats you up a little bit too. All the you see something, you think, oh no, I made a mistake. Oh, that is a little. No, that's right. That's actually right. Yeah, see, my stitch line's right there, so that's all going to come out right. It looks weird, but it's not. All right, get that web pulled down to the edge. Now we can start working this back. Da 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 da. Now I want a nice edge, strong edge on this. This is the other side of the pocket, the strong part that you want to hold your Bimini onto your frame with. This is a pretty crucial part. And now if you don't cut this piece with a big, like just a slice in here and leave all this wing out here, so you see when you fold this back, you don't have anything to trail through to the edge. So sometimes what I do is I'll cut a thin little strip and I'll just lay a little piece in there to help give that a little more support in it, because this is going to be folded back probably twice like that, like a double hem, and I'll stitch that in. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 thicknesses, or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 thicknesses with that folded back double like that. And then I'll trim this little raw edge piece off later. So so you get a double hem there. So this is about right where that needs to go. So we'll staple that up. Now we're going to have to finish out this corner here. And again, we're hitting the middle of our web, so that's really nice. We're going to fold this over 1 inch because that's where our zipper is going to land us. So the corner of this is going to be right there, just past our chalk line, right where we want it. But we got to get rid of some of this material in here now, all this quad folded stuff, or we're going to have 8 layers or 8 or 12 layers when we fold that corner up, trying to make that neat. So I'm not even going to get into that now. I'm just going to do it, and I got to shut the camera off because this is taking a long time. But hope you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe. I'll share some more. If you got any questions or you want to see some more videos, I'll make them. I'll put it out there. But that's how you do it. You start with your pattern line. You kind of put your darts in. You cut your edges. You put on your pocket piece. You staple in your lip edge. You put your lip edge on there. You figure out your ends, and then you start working your zippers on there. And then you do that all on the other side, and then you're ready to start sewing up.